Education is a large part of every individual's life, and because of rising dropout rates, the growing achievement gap, and the worry about keeping up with the educational standards of other countries, many people have a strong opinion on what we should do to improve our education system within the United States. Dance can be used supplementary to school curriculum to improve students' academic abilities and deepen understanding of the world around them. Children naturally use movement as a way to express their needs and emotions. History has proven to understand these needs because every flourishing civilization has provided for its children instruction to create art and understand its meaning. But what does dance education involve? Within the realms of dance education, students are provided with the opportunity to experience dance as an art form by synthesizing, creating, and evaluating movement. A child's dance experience involves qualities associated with artistic practice, including sensory awareness, spatial focus, personal stylistic preferences, imagination, intellectual engagement, commitment to practice and performance, self-discipline, and form-making abilities. It includes learning that the human body moves through space, time, and with effort while being constrained by our anatomical features and physiological limits. Students learn to see connections between dance and other disciplines within the school day. The skills and abilities that children learn through dance education enable them to become better students within the classroom, and they acquire many great life skills. Furthermore, there has been research to show that the mind and body are indeed connected during physical engagement, which increases cognitive abilities. In the end, dance education allows students to learn how to integrate cognitive motor skills with the use of movement. So then how is dance education used in schools?
I think what's important when you're using dance or any art to layer another concept on is that you have to invest in like a vocabulary of that discipline first before you even start asking them to do other things on top of it.
We would just talk about water and brainstorm about all different kinds of bodies of water, and then we would get up and talk about how the different energies and then they'd get up and do the first day. All they did was create bodies of water. We tried to guess what they were, and then the next day we talked about different kinds of clouds, and then we talked about precipitation, and we tried to embody that in our, and then. I think I showed them the Bill Nye video of the water cycle, which is fabulous. And then they, by the third day, they could have started putting it all together, and then by the fourth day, they performed. And then we would always have to guess, and that engages them too.
Teachers can create lessons that align both with math and dance standards. These standards are then integrated into daily lessons by allowing students to use their bodies to explore geometry concepts, including geometrical shapes, angles, and symmetry. This kind of learning helps with the spatial aspects of math and can help students solidify the concepts within their minds.
Prepositions over, around, through, under, between, beside, here, we would go out to we would talk about site-specific work. We'd go out into the playground sometimes, and they had to create dances in groups around the playground structure. I mean, it was awesome. They were like totally having fun, but they were creating dances, using these prepositions. We did a lot of adverbs and adjectives too, where you can pull out verbs. You can pull out like an action, and then you pull out a descriptive word, so an action word and a descriptive word, and then you put them together, and then you do them across the room. Understanding a beginning, middle, and an end in their papers and also in their dances was very important.
So how does psychology support dance education? Howard Gardner is an American developmental psychologist who is well known for his theory of multiple intelligences. According to Howard Gardner, everyone has different strengths in how they learn best and represent things in their mind. These strengths led to Gardner's identification of 8 intelligences, including bodily kinesthetic, musical rhythmic, intrapersonal, logical mathematical, naturalist, interpersonal, visual spatial, and verbal linguistic. Each of these dimensions are unique and foster the learning of students in different ways. For example, people who are intrapersonal are self-smart and find it easier to work alone and quietly, while people who identify more with being visual spatial are picture smart and tend to learn best with the use of visual or observed things. These 8 dimensions are interconnected, which means that just because someone has one intellectual strength does not mean that they cannot be strong in another intellectual area as well. Within dance education, dance allows for the integration of kinesthetic learning with understanding. This kind of kinesthetic learning aligns with Howard Gardner's bodily kinesthetic intelligence in his theory. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence involves people who are body smart and tend to have a form of thinking and the ability to solve problems through control of one's bodily motions. People who thrive with bodily kinesthetic learning like to move, learn best with movement, and have the ability to use their body to coordinate movement. This type of physical movement aligns nicely with young children, especially those who have a harder time expressing themselves orally or in writing. It gives them a creative outlet in which to express their thoughts, feelings, and knowledge that they have learned. In essence, it connects their mind and body, which allows them to form deeper connections to the information that is being taught. Furthermore, children all have the need to move and be active throughout the day. When they are allowed to move, they are expelling energy from their bodies and giving their brain nourishment due to a higher intake of oxygen and blood circulation. This means that even students who do not identify with the bodily kinesthetic intelligence still can benefit from the kind of movement that dance provides.
I just noticed that people, when they had memorable, visceral experiences that were creative, and they were expressing it not just on paper but through their bodies. In my case, but there was drama and music and visual art and stuff too. But that they just remembered it because it was this thing where they had thought creatively about it.
Dance education also aligns with Piaget's theory of learning. Within Piaget's theory, he believes young children learn best through physical and sensory experiences. Since dance involves movement, it creates thinking in the concrete reality. Furthermore, Piaget believes that people have building blocks of knowledge, or schemas, in which they view the world. When people learn information, they go through either the process of assimilation or accommodation. Assimilation takes new information and incorporates it into existing schemas, while accommodation involves creating a new schema with new information learned. Within dance, assimilation happens through repetition, practice, and making movement independently, while accommodation occurs when meeting new challenges and solving new problems. Furthermore, Piaget believes people go through 4 stages of learning. The first stage is the sensory motor stage, which occurs from birth to approximately age 2. Since this stage involves infants, it does not apply to children learning dance in school. However, the pre-operational stage consists of children ages 2 to 7. In this second stage, children do not think logically, which means teachers need to provide experiences and concrete examples to expand the meaning of symbolic words used. This may mean bringing in a feather to represent floating to children. Once children move on to the concrete operational stage, children begin to ask questions and exchange information. This can mean that learning about dance can include more cognitive content, including the ability to manipulate and rearrange patterns of movement. Children are better able to handle things that are real, meaning that imagery should be related to things they know and have experienced. The last stage of formal operations is not really reached until adolescence. When children reach this stage, they are able to solve problems not by looking at or by experiencing and experimenting, but by first thinking of the possibilities. This means they are encouraged to think critically. In this way, dance collaborates with Piaget's stages of learning as a way to help students grow intellectually and broaden or create schemas with new information they learn. The information processing theory explains how students process information from stimuli in the environment. This involves students moving information from their sensory memory to their short-term memory and finally to long-term memory. The sensory memory includes raw stimuli from one's environment. It can hold lots of information, but for very small periods of time. Then, the short-term or working memory includes what you are currently thinking. Unlike the sensory memory, the short-term memory can only hold 5 to 9 chunks of information for about 20 to 30 seconds. Finally, the long-term memory permanently holds unlimited amounts of information that one has learned. In order for information to transfer from the working memory to long-term memory, the information must be encoded. Encoding is usually accomplished by making new information meaningful and integrating it with existing information in long-term memory. The co-equal integration of dance and other disciplines makes both meaningful, thereby enhancing learning and deepening student understanding in both content areas. Another part of the information processing theory involves metacognition, or thinking about one's thinking. Metacognition occurs when students are asked to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate their movement that they have created. According to Bloom's taxonomy, involving a hierarchy of thinking, when students are asked to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate information, it leads to higher order thinking. Higher order thinking helps deepen and broaden student understanding of a given topic. It also involves learning complex judgment skills like critical thinking and problem solving. These skills easily transfer to other experiences and situations in life, making them very valuable for students to learn in school. Hence, the entirety of the information processing theory is benefited when students use movement to learn, because it provides a unique way to learn and think about new information. One article I read talked about the use of math and dance within the classroom. In the article, it stated that this kind of work involved co-equal integration in which student learning is centered on higher-order cognitive skills and aesthetic qualities and poses higher-order questions of analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. In the article, it was evident that many of the students really enjoyed this kind of integration because, for starters, it makes math more interesting and fun. One student stated that it helped me learn that you can make shapes with your body. This kind of learning helps signal deeper understanding of geometric content by allowing students to use their bodies to see how these concepts work. In the end, one teacher stated that she realized that the students are essentially scaffolding each other to bring their poses to a level that is accurate and acceptable by the standards of everyone in the group. This kind of student interaction allows students to hold each other accountable within the classroom and lesson. It pushes them to learn from and with their peers in ways that they may not normally interact. Plus, it allows students to understand both math and dance in a deeper way that they may have never thought of before. One study took place in a public K-6 school in Pennsylvania. The school has a population of 950 children, which all participated within the study. However, there was a core group of 16 students, 12 girls and 4 boys, chosen to participate additionally within the study. These students participated in 10 daily movement workshops where they split themselves up into 4 different groups, created a dance together, and then performed these dances at the end. Within this study, it was shown that cognition is recognizable in the process of creating the dances in various ways. These cognitive strategies that the students were seen using included alternating movement, imagery, improvisation, repetition, attention to structure, imitation, active discussion, and conveying meaning through movement. These cognitive processes that the children used have the ability to transfer to the classroom in various ways. Plus, both individual and group cognitive strategies are present in the creation of dances, which are skills needed for school and life in general. In the end, dance education provides numerous benefits for students both in and out of the classroom. First and foremost, dance education allows students the ability to think and act in creative ways. This can come in the form of problem solving, exploring movement, improvisations, and manipulations. 2. Dance can allow students the time and place to learn about performance skills, including confidence, clarity, focus, and professionalism. 3. Dance education is a great way to look at the historical perspectives of other cultures. This may be done by inviting diverse artists to come share their work with students or teaching students simple folk dances that are associated with different cultures. 4. Dance education provides students the time to interact with their peers. It fosters social encounters, interaction, and cooperation by working in groups, choreographing, and performing in others' pieces. The ability to work individually and in groups is a necessary skill for both school and life in general. 5. Dance enhances cognitive development due to the fact that movement provides the cognitive loop between the idea, problem, or intent and the outcome or solution. 6. Dance education helps to develop student literacy. Dance allows children to develop sensory awareness, cognition, and consciousness. Furthermore, young children see verbal language and movement as being entwined. 7. Dance in general is a great academic stress reliever due to the increase in oxygen and blood circulation that provides the brain with more nourishment. 8. Students who dance can show an increase in their emotional maturity. This is because movement within a class offers a structured outlet for physical release while gaining awareness and appreciation of oneself and others. 9. Students are assisted in their physical development when they participate in dance. Students are provided the ability to improve their gross motor skills, flexibility, strength, and learning to control their body movements. 10. Dance education can have pronounced effects on behavior. The use of dance takes disruptive energy and makes it creative, while making movement a valuable part of the school day. In general, the creative energy found within dance education provides a positive environment to work in. Finally, all students benefit from the physical activity that dance provides. In reality, young children are naturally active, but dance offers an avenue to expand movement possibilities and skills. Overall, a basic concept of education is one which seeks to provide every child with opportunities for self-realization and the acquisition of appropriate knowledge, and recognizes the fact that experiential knowledge is usually as valuable as book knowledge. Dance is considered experiential knowledge because it provides students with the opportunity to apply academic knowledge through hands-on activity and experience. For this reason, dance can and should have a place within education, and there are many psychological theories that support this. Dance is considered a bodily kinesthetic intelligence, according to Gardner's theory, and it supports Piaget's theory of learning and intellectual development. Furthermore, dance frames information in a meaningful manner, which helps when encoding knowledge into long-term memory, and it allows students the chance to participate in higher-order thinking. Knowledge of the complexity of dance can add depth to teachers' explanations as they ask students to create, perform, view, critique, and analyze dance. Finally, research shows that dance education assists in learning and leads to many benefits in students' lives. In short, students can learn dance, about dance, and through dance, the transfer of learning enhances learning of other academic disciplines and life skills.